Next on ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso weekend, another major traffic mess is upon us, with I-10 mostly shut down on the west side this morning. A deadly pedestrian crash in Northeast, leading to a search by police this morning. The details on the vehicle they're looking for. The ballot is nearly set for the presidential election, with just one major party convention and possible surprises to go. Now, storm track weather, Stephen.
Traffic continues to get backed up with the I-10 closure, and we're under a first alert. I'll have the very latest on the heat that we're going to be seeing in the borderland.
This is all the news you need to start your Sunday, July 24th. ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. Getting straight to storm track weather now. The triple-digit temperatures are returning once again, which is why we are under that ABC 7 first alert. So storm track meteorologist Stephen Decatur is here now with just how hot it's expected to get today. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Andrew. Yes, we are under a heat advisory by the National Weather Service, so we do have that first alert in effect for some very high temperatures this afternoon. Once again, we're going to be climbing close to 104, very similar to what we saw yesterday and Friday. So again, we continue to be quite hot, near record warmth. In fact, we've hit records the past 2 days, and we're going to be very close, within 2 degrees of a record high once again today. And then we also have a much cooler work week in store, so we do have cooler temperatures that are on the way, and some wet weather will be returning to the area, so that's certainly some good news. But here's a look at that heat that we've been dealing with. 105 Friday, 104 Saturday, calling for 104 again today for Sunday. So that's about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. And you can see we did hit those record highs for Friday and Saturday. Today, it looks like we'll be just shy of that 106 set in 1979. But let's take a look at traffic. Again, things are starting to get backed up now as we head through the morning. You can see much slower times than what we saw last hour. You can see things really getting backed up on I-10 now, 14 miles per hour as you approach Sunland. This is eastbound on I-10. That closure is between Sunland and Executive, so it is closed on I-10. People have to get off at Sunland Park. 14 miles an hour with traffic backing up on I-10 now. As you head down Sunland, 17 miles an hour around Mesa and Sunland, around that intersection right there. You can see some oranges. Now, once you're on Mesa, it's not too bad, 35 miles an hour. And then once you get down to Executive, getting back onto I-10, 25 miles an hour. So again, these things are just going to get worse as the morning progresses, as more and more people get out on the road. At the present time, Trans Mountain isn't too bad if you want to avoid that area entirely and just head across Trans Mountain. 42 miles an hour in some of the slower spots on that roadway. Andrew?
Thanks, Stephen. And taking a live look at traffic this morning, this is Mesa at Sunland. Not looking too bad from there right now, but this will be an area that could be very busy later today as this closure continues, again, scheduled until tomorrow morning. So this is an area we'll be looking at. There are police stationed at pretty much every intersection between Mesa and Sunland Park and Mesa at Executive Center. So again, this could be a very big trouble spot as this closure continues today. Now, that portion of I-10 will again be shut down until 5 tomorrow morning. And along with the freeway closures, 2 lanes on I-10 West are also closed. Like Stephen just showed us, this is the detour drivers can take. TxDOT says the closures for the demolition of the Paisano Bridge is the reason for all of this. ABC 7's Jay Nahara spoke to some of the drivers and residents in the area on how traffic will impact them. He has more.
Every time I brought up the closures on Saturday, people would sigh, they would pout. I heard a couple not against. Drivers say they are just tired of these closures. Beginning Sunday at 3 a.m., I-10 East between the Sunland Park overpass and the Executive overpass will be completely closed. At the same time, 2 left lanes on I-10 West between Executive Center and the Sunland Park exit will be closed. TxDOT will reopen the lanes Monday morning at 5 a.m. TxDOT will be detouring the traffic through Mesa, and drivers are already preparing to avoid the traffic mess altogether.
I'm going to stay home, and I'm not getting up. Because right now, Mesa, going to my house can take me an hour and a half if I'm coming from downtown.
For some, it's an inconvenience that affects their jobs.
That's not going to be very exciting because I have to go to work, and I actually work over here, so it's going to delay everything.
And with all the traffic exiting Sunland Park, many who live in the area say it's become a problem.
It gets really, really bad.
You start seeing a lot of semis, a lot of vehicles that you wouldn't see typically on that road.
Honestly, traffic is mad.
In case you're wondering, John Michael Blow is celebrating his birthday, but he lives a block away from Sunland Park Drive. He tells me traffic heading to Mesa from Sunland can be a nightmare.
On a usual day, it would take about 30 seconds. On days like that, Probably 10, 20 minutes.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Who has that time?
Lily Pinukvar tells me it's not just the traffic they have to deal with.
It's also a noise issue, especially since our houses border Sunland Park. It gets really, really loud.
She says even though it's noisy, she finds herself staying indoors and away from the traffic, something she's ready to do on Sunday.
It's not pleasant. You kind of find a way to stay in your house.
Next Sunday at the same time, I-10 West will be closed between the Sunland Park exit ramp and the Sunland Park entrance ramp. Jerry Nakira, ABC 7.
We're still working to find out more information on a deadly pedestrian crash in northeast El Paso. Happened shortly before 9 last night on the 9300 block of Diana. We have new video this morning from our round-the-clock news crew. Police say a man was hit by a car, and the driver allegedly then fled the scene. The man was taken to UMC where he died. Police are only telling us that they are looking for the driver of a red truck. We'll update you on air and online as soon as we get any more details. The El Paso Fire Department says a woman is okay after she had to be rescued when she suffered heat exhaustion. The woman was hiking at Waco Tanks. Search and rescue teams from both the Horizon and El Paso Fire Departments assisted in the rescue. We're told she was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. Police are still investigating why an elderly man's body was found near railroad tracks yesterday afternoon. Police say they found the body around 5 yesterday at Morenci and Grandma. That's near Memorial Park. Our crews were there as police were on the scene. Police have not released any other details other than the man's body was found near the railroad tracks. We're still working to find out more information. We'll update you soon as we get those latest details. And firefighters are trying to control a wildfire burning in several places north of Los Angeles. So far, the wildfire has forced the evacuation of 1,500 homes. Fire officials say the blazing fire started as a brush fire Friday afternoon, but has spread now to thousands of acres. Officials are concerned strong winds might push the fire to the west, where residents and buildings are more located. The U.S. Forest Service says only 10% of that fire is contained. The cause of the fire, as of yet, is unknown. And with her running mate Tim Kaine, Hillary Clinton is ready for the Democratic Convention, another major step in her historical candidacy. But the party's plan for a show of unity may be in trouble. ABC's Lauren Lister is in Philadelphia with the details.
Hillary Clinton and her VP pick have made their debut, and now their party awaits. Democrats and the city of Philadelphia making final preparations here for the convention, kicking off tomorrow. With the debut of the Democratic ticket in Miami, Philadelphia now in focus. Thousands of law enforcement finalizing security plans for the Democratic National Convention, preparing for up to 50,000 protesters a day.
It is a little bit of an unusual year in kind of the fights, the political fights that have gone on.
The arena ready for presumptive Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton and VP pick Tim Kaine after making their first big appearance together as running mates at a rally Saturday.
Make no mistake, behind that smile, Tim also has a backbone of steel. Just ask the NRA.
Kaine beat out 23 other candidates for the VP spot and wasted no time before beating up on the Republican nominee.
While we're on the subject of taxes, where are Donald Trump's tax returns?
Donald Trump tweeting, just saw crooked Hillary and Tim Kaine together. ISIS and our other enemies are drooling. They don't look presidential to me. But ahead of the convention, Democrats facing some turmoil of their own. WikiLeaks releasing nearly 20,000 internal DNC emails, including some that appear to show efforts to undercut the rise of Bernie Sanders. His campaign manager telling ABC it's a clear example of the DNC taking sides and that somebody has to be held accountable. And ABC News has learned from a Democratic Party chair negotiations are underway to significantly downgrade the public role that the DNC chair will play at the convention in the wake of the email controversy. Lauren Lister, ABC News, Philadelphia.
Building for the future, literally. Some middle schoolers from all over El Paso got a chance to get a glimpse of the work that goes into construction projects. Yesterday, students learned from those behind the Border West Expressway expansion project. Using marshmallows and toothpicks, they built their own bridges and even built a crane simulator. A hands-on camp was held at Guillen Middle School. Organizers say that by learning how bridges are built, the students begin to understand the math and science behind it.
It's kind of like a professional video game, and they had a blast with that. And then some of the activities you see behind me right now, we're building things. So learning about how bridges are built, why they're built in certain ways so that they can hold certain weights, and really kind of getting to it. We also built a small crane so they can lift things using a hydraulic system.
And if you're interested, you can also learn more about the Border West Expressway project. Just go to the links mentioned section on KVIA.com. You get to see some animated videos of how it will all work and what it will look like once it's finished. You can also monitor all those road closures. And for some students, the school year is now right around the corner. At least one organization is making sure that students have the tools they need for success. The Housing Authority of El Paso held its back-to-school fair yesterday. Volunteers gave away hundreds of backpacks filled with school supplies like notebooks, scissors, and all the essentials. It's the 7th year the Housing Authority has given away backpacks.
You see their eyes, just whiten up and be so grateful that they're getting a new backpack full of school supplies. They're just happy to go. They put on their backpack right away. I think it's something that makes their day. It makes a child's day.
For the past 6 years, HACEP says they've helped more than 2,000 children get the school supplies they need to be successful in the classroom. Drivers on the west side, be aware for another reason. The speed limit on a 7-mile stretch of I-10 West is coming down. According to our news partners at the El Paso Inc., after more than 350 collisions on I-10 west of downtown, TxDOT and the city agreed that reducing the speed is necessary. The speed limit will go from 60 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour between Red Road and Executive Center Boulevard. Another section that will have speed reduced is between Artcraft Road and the city's western limits near Vinton. The speed limit will drop from 75 miles per hour to 60. To read more on some of the changes being done to I-10, including that Border West Expressway project, pick up your copy of the El Paso Inc. Other stories this week include some good news for a much beloved piece of downtown El Paso. The old Popular building will be restored, not the way you might expect either. And the new boss at the hub of human innovation says El Paso needs to grow its own startups. El Paso Inc. is online at KVIA.com and available for home and business delivery. Call the number there at the bottom of your screen, 534-4422, to subscribe. Around the world this morning, Germany is still struggling with the aftermath of the Munich shooting. And coming up on Good Morning El Paso Weekend, how hundreds are remembering the victims now. And later, the latest on the explosion claiming dozens of lives and injuring hundreds now in Afghanistan, and what started as this peaceful protest. It is 8:12 right now. Taking another live look at that traffic this morning. Mesa at Sunland, seeing a little bit heavier conditions starting to build up there. Seeing those semis taking to the city streets they would usually avoid by sticking to I-10. Not the option this morning. And we're going to keep an eye on this throughout this broadcast and throughout the day as that I-10 closure of the eastbound lanes continues. And storm track weather, Stephen.
Another hot one today. Temperatures climbing up near 105. A first alert in effect. All the details after the break.
You're watching ABC 7, where news comes first.